There was a long discussion in the Dandy's World Discord about distractors, and this user said if no one distracts, it takes business days to even get to floor 20. I've played both sides, so there is no bias, by the way. Qwel replied to this user saying, I've been wanting to make the early game a little quicker to get through honestly. This user replied saying, I kinda agree on early game a little bit easier to get through for casual players. It can also help long runs progress much quicker too. Qwel replied to this user saying, it would also let you get through some research a bit quicker as a casual player since more floors equals more encounter chances. Qwel then said, one of my ideas was to make it so your starting amount of machines is 2 instead of 4. What were your guys' thoughts on that idea? This won't 100% happen, just collecting thoughts. A user said to Qwel, this should be automated when it comes to how much players in a team. Qwel then replied saying, it already is, but your starting number of machines will always be 4 currently. A user made this suggestion and said, I don't know if it's possible, but I think I would like it better for machines to fill up quicker on earlier floors than a machine decrease, and the machine completion time scales up to what it is currently. Qwel replied saying, I really don't enjoy this concept, would almost feel like just directly punishing the player for progressing further instead of adding challenge with variety. It just makes a process slower, and with that artificially adds longer matches and unfun pacing. This user said, honestly, 4 machines leaves more room for more people to get. I call, should you be in a team? This is just my personal opinion. Qwel replied saying, okay, my counter argument to this though would be that you're also encountering twisteds a bit quicker and getting research capsules a bit quicker in trade of machines, so I-Call gain is still happening. Plus, I-Call from just getting further floors sooner would be more I-Call for the team overall when we consider that. This user said, I kind of think reducing the number of machines will just make people fight over them more. It already gets pretty aggro out there with people jostling for spots. Best not to muck with it. Then Qwel said, okay, if I were not to change the machine count, then how is there a better way to get players to later stages easier? Research shows most players die around floor 3 to 5 or 10 to 15, and it takes a while to get to floor 15 plus. This user said there's not really a solution, I think. The game is basically endless floors, and with more twisteds and machines on further floors, it's just natural that people will die. Perhaps there could be maybe some upgrades aside from cards, but I can't really think of any. Qwel replied saying, no, I'm aware people will die, that is part of the game cycle, but I'd like if players could get to floor 10 to 15 quicker. This user said, let them keep playing, skill builds the man. To be honest, it really depends on their skill, not counting floor 20 plus as that's heavily RNG based, and I'm guessing they're talking about public lobbies, but my idea would be also scaling the uncommon plus twisteds like the mains. Qwel replied saying, right, but even with the skill, getting to floor 10 to 15 still takes much longer than I'd hope. This user replied to Qwel saying, I think honestly most are fine with that. I think in like half an hour you can get to floor 10. I think it's just how the game works, it's a bit time consuming. The less machine idea isn't bad, but would have to be balanced very carefully to not make the game too easy / fast. Qwel then said, okay, well I won't change anything for now as there still seems to be people who disagree with any change at all on the machine count, so no change decided on for now. Qwel then said, just needs more consideration. Maybe instead I should look at more upgrade cards that possibly assist with machines in some way.